Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Design and Style, a podcast for designers by designers. I am one of your co-hosts, Dixie with Dixie Willer Design, also known as Designing Dixie. And with me is the beautiful, effervescent, and recently back from a trip to the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, it's Rachel with Rachel Moriarty Interiors. And if you're new to our podcast, yes, I am a deadhead. Yeah, I just got back from Arizona. It was gorgeous there. Absolutely gorgeous. It was flowering and warm. And
aside from one misplaced little video that you did.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. I totally but live streamed. So if anybody is just new to me in general, I do a Facebook daily live stream called Rachel's Daily Riffs, and I've been doing it for almost a year. And it was really funny because we were driving to the desert. I felt my phone was like next to me and it felt hot. So that was the only reason that I reached for it. It was like hot, like, it was running. And so I grabbed it and I looked and I saw my jeans. I could see my jeans in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's been live streaming. Did you see it?
I saw the very beginning and I was like,
was it just my jeans?
I couldn't, it was really dark.
Blurry.
It was really blurry. I was cracking up because I was like, something's going on. I mean, I could see movement, but I couldn't see anything else. Either Rachel's live stream is just not going very well, or she is totally butt streaming.
Rachel's daily butt stream. That would be hysterical. And then we were trying to what were we talking about? It wasn't like anything big. I think we were just listening to music in the car, but oh my gosh, so scary.
It cracked me up. Which actually, speaking of visibility.
Yes.
So this podcast is going to air on June 6th, I believe.
Yes.
And it'll be right in the middle of our visibility challenge, which is kind of fun.
It'll be right in the beginning, right? Because we're going to start it on June 5th. So,
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you'll have to tell us if you've had any little incidents. Hop into the club and let us know, because we want to hear if you've had any visibility challenges that were challenging.
Well, that just shows you can just delete it. It's no big deal.
And really, it was more funny than anything else. The comments afterwards, I think, were the best.
Gosh. I had to I had to take that moment and just laugh at myself, and it's all good. But today we actually have a viewer question.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a Design and Style Club private Facebook group. And in there, one of our listeners asked us to speak about designer discounts and whether we share them or not, or whether to share them or not to share them. And I think this is actually one of the age-old discussions with designers. I've seen many a heated discussion about it.
Yeah. You are not kidding when you say heated, because people have some strong feelings on the matter.
Yes, exactly. So, personally, it's not like I have different policies per project, but my projects are so different that, obviously if I'm doing an e-design, I am not using trade discounting. Right. I have to use the retailers where that person is, So when I'm doing e-design, there's no trade discounts. It's straight retail sourcing. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but for me, it's just, I just want to get them their stuff, and it's easily accessible. They can purchase it online, or if it's a place that's local to them, they can go into that place and get it as well. So for me, design time equals, the ideation, the concept, the sourcing, the visioning, the creative problem solving. That's the design time for me. I do what's called, I guess it's like a hybrid, right? So I charge the client, or they pay under retail,
Mm-hmm.
but there is some cushion in there for me as well.
So basically you split the discount.
I don't exactly split it. They will still come under retail, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's not like a 50-50. There's no like formula for it.
Right.
Because this is the thing. We get our business, we get our business license, we get our resale license. When we run stuff through our business, there is automatically bookkeeping and administrative that goes with
Mm-hmm.
that. So I don't see a reason to take that all on myself and not get compensated for that. That is not what I consider design time. So that's how I sort of do it. So I have like a window treatment company that I work with. And what I'll do is they, provide a full home measurement. They provide installation. If there's an issue, it's like a phone call for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to charge like as much to go out there for the measure and all that stuff,
Right.
because that's all taken care of for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's window treatments, you make quite a nice amount of money. And so I just love it. I just partner with companies and showrooms where it's really the road of least resistance. It's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting at home like over tracking stuff, because I think you and I both came out of the furniture industry.
Yes.
And that was one of the things that we really didn't want to do.
No, I hate it.
You especially do not like dealing with vendors, right?
Right. Yeah.
But you did.
I like vendors, but
No, I know. It's not your favorite thing to be like, oh, it's Monday. I'm going to call my vendor and check up on it.
Nope.
And you recently had a discrepancy. You have a whole home renovation. You recently had a discrepancy come up. Was it a screw or something like that for a table or something like?
Yeah, the hardware that came in didn't match up with what we needed the table. The table had an extender to make it bar height instead of table height. So it had a double extender, one to make it counter height, and then the second one made it bar height. And they didn't send the right hardware.
And that discrepancy has cost you how much in time?
Oh.
I mean, I think every time I talk to you, I feel
I was going right back up there again.
This is like been such an ongoing thing. And if you don't pad that in, or you know what I mean, if you pass on your discount, then you're not really getting paid for that. Because some designers, I don't know if you do this, but some designers will say, well, it's not their fault. It's not your fault either.
Right.
And it'll take a lot longer for them to resolve it than you to resolve it, and so if you pad that into the product itself, then you don't feel as resentful.
That's true. Now, I do things just a little bit differently because I usually go ahead and pass on the discount, but I charge a little bit larger fee for actually doing the ordering and purchasing because I know that there are going to be headaches in there, and so I pad my fee. And then so the way that it works is the client sees, oh, I'm getting this great discount, which, let's be honest, if they're willing to do the legwork, they can find it for the same price somewhere else if they just hit the internet. The designer discounts on some things are really not any better than what they can find out there. And so for me, what I'm charging for is the time and headache that the client would have had to deal with had they ordered that themselves. Does that make sense?
It does.
I charge the fee for the service. Now, if it takes me 5 seconds to order it and I don't have any issues, then I've just made a whole lot of money. But I make sure that I include time. I know that there will be headaches in there. And so when I set my fee, I include all of the headache time up front and then pass along my discount. Now, if some places do have a commission, and
put in a W-9 and receive a check.
Right. And in that case, that's a little bit different. I don't necessarily pass that along. I
Mm-hmm.
tell the clients they pay what I pay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I write the check, whatever it is to that company, that's what they're paying. So
Okay.
it all comes out in the wash, I guess.
I don't know if it does. That's the thing. So the markup can be thousands of dollars, where a service fee can be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I guess it does depend on what exactly you're purchasing.
Yeah, so that's the only thing where I'm like, when I think about rugs, the
Mhm.
markup on there are certain things where the markup is.
Now, I will say this is here's the catch. I'm using retail establishments.
Oh, okay.
So this is not, I have gone directly to the vendor themselves.
Okay.
I'm not talking to Laloy Rugs and
Right, right,
ordering
right.
rugs from them when I have that. In
Okay.
that case, absolutely I'm marking it up because the store's going to mark it up just like I would.
Yes. Now, this is my thing about retailers. So there are occasions where I am with a client shopping. It's very rare because I can't think and entertain a
Yeah.
client at the same time. But if we are at a retail place where they give me a trade discount, which is very small, but you're paying tax, you're at the register, you're paying
Mhm.
tax on it. There's not, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's not like really any bookkeeping. Um, and they're there, I will pass the discount on in front of them. So there's a perceived value,
Yes.
and it's like, and it just sort of reinforces everything that I'm telling them. Like,
Mhm.
we are designers, we get special discount pricing. If they actually see it in action,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. And they
um,
value the fact that you're taking care of it for them and make it easy on them.
exactly.
Mhm.
And it's another thing, just almost like, I don't position myself as the low price leader in San Diego,
Yeah.
and so that if I usually don't get people who are going to shop me, because that kind of client doesn't really come to me. They're really more about the service. They're busy. Just take it. They just want the peace
Mhm.
of mind. I think if you're positioning yourself as the low price leader, you're going to get that client who,
Absolutely.
while you're sourcing, is going to be, and they're going to be questioning, and they're going to ask you to see your receipts. I mean, I've seen, which is absurd to me, but I've heard of clients doing that.
Yeah. That I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
Because when I say I pass on my designer discounts, I don't mean that I'm acting as the retailer and buying wholesale. I mean, I've gone to a retailer, you order floor carpet tiles from Floor and they give you a discount, 20%. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that absolutely. If I was the retailer, completely different story.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
you got to take into account that your cost of doing business for those things includes going to market, placing the orders, evaluating your options. When something comes in damaged,
Oh my
you're the
gosh.
one filing the claim with
Yes.
the freight company and
Or
the
even your
original company.
insurance.
Yeah.
Something can happen and you have to make an insurance claim.
Mm-hmm. So if you're the retailer, absolutely. If the retailer's the one taking care of all of that, and I'm just the one saying this is the order and this is exactly, because upholstery orders, custom orders can be complicated. Then I'm willing to say, you pay me my design fee or my purchasing fee,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pass on that 20% or whatever it is.
Upholstery is so tricky because, again, you and I are out of that industry, right? And even in a beautiful showroom, it is so hard to get somebody to purchase custom upholstery, even if the exact model they can sit in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just changing the fabric and maybe an
Right.
arm or, the foot
Yeah.
or whatever. It is so, to me, that is one thing I have not mastered yet, is selling custom upholstery to somebody who can't sit on it.
Yeah. They need something to sit on. Unless it's like just an accent chair that they don't really care about it being
Yeah.
super funky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hard to do.
Yeah, that's so hard to do. So I do partner again with the same retailers that we worked
Mm-hmm.
for, um, and get at least a little bit. But I don't want the customer coming to me about their custom upholstery order gone wrong. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
like, okay, let's call them and have them handle it. So I think it's really, where are you in your life? What kind of design do
What do you enjoy doing even?
have? What do you enjoy
Yeah.
doing? What do you have the capacity to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's really, there's so many different ways
And
to
how
do.
much liability do you want to have in the deal? Like, I don't want to be, if that cushion breaks down in 6 months, I don't want it to be, I'm the one dealing with it. I want it to be somebody else dealing with it because that's not something I want to do.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you love doing it, absolutely. By the way, make sure you're charging a markup on that.
Exactly, exactly. So there are so many ways to go. So brick and mortars. I will
Mhm.
definitely, if the client's with me, they get to see my
Yes.
little decorator card and they get the value. Um, Online, if I'm doing any online purchasing, I do take the discount because that's running through my account.
Mm-hmm.
It requires admin, it requires bookkeeping. So I definitely do not pass that on. Um, I recently had a client that was such a red flag. He came to me and wanted to do a kitchen and bath,
Mm-hmm.
and basically told me that he just wanted the design, um, and he was going to figure out how to get the cabinets without paying the contractor's markup.
Oh,
Because yeah, he knows that contractors mark up this stuff. And I was like,
because they install it
yeah.
and work around it and
And I
schedule
was like,
around
well,
it.
whether you get it from me,
Uh-huh.
the contractor, unless you have your own resale number and business
Right.
license,
That too.
like how are you gonna like get around, like it just seemed like so much work. Like you know what I mean? For me, like thinking of like, wow, just to save a little money, he's gonna have to jump through some hoops.
Well, I've seen people say, "Oh, I'm gonna be my own general contractor so I can save some money." And they're half insane if not completely insane by the
And
time
divorced,
they finish. Yeah.
divorced and
Or they
spent more
quit.
money. Never get
Hmm.
finished. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
what we do is important.
exactly. Um, Again, I like to partner with companies like my design showroom. You
Hmm.
know, I love having a showroom in town. I just do the W-9 with them.
Yeah.
I don't, it's like the best of both worlds. I get a commission.
Hmm.
Um, I get the exclusivity of having access to lines that other people don't. Um, and they take care of everything, which is so, you know what I mean? It's an
Yes.
email, it's a phone call. It's
Hmm.
not me sitting down and, continually.
Having to call person after person to find out what happened with your order or
Or if something goes wrong, like I started using a bigger window treatment company
Mhm.
because I had such a bad experience with a little local one. She just didn't have the capacity. She didn't have, it was embarrassing. It
Mhm.
was so embarrassing what happened, and it was such a reflection on me. And even though the client was super understanding, and I never, ever said, oh, it's the workroom, because I just take, it's like it's who I picked to
Yeah.
get this window treatment through or these Romans through. It's like I'm not gonna just keep throwing this person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you have to take responsibility for everything. Um, they knew it wasn't me. They knew I was on it. I was updating them constantly. Like
Mhm.
I just sent another email. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I constantly updated them so they knew I was on it, but it was so horrifying to me. I was so embarrassed by the end that I've never used a smaller workroom again.
Yeah.
Like I need everything, that even if the payment is smaller to me, I need them to stand behind the product. I need them, and it did happen. Something happened where the Roman, it was on a door, and the thing to adjust it was on the side where the knob is and not the other side. So it was like clinking, like this heavy weighted metal thing. And I just called them, and they sent a new one out, and they sent the installer, and it took 15 minutes for them to, and I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So, peace of mind for me.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I guess the answer is to share or not to share. It's
going to vary no matter who you are. It's going to vary just depending on what you as your business are willing to take.
Yeah.
How much
because I know some designers that kill it on product, so it's definitely not something to ignore. It is an income stream, a very profitable income stream. I think it's hard for solos though.
Okay, here's a question for you. How do you feel about people who charge their regular hourly rate? Oh my gosh, regular hourly rate. Let's put that Lee in the right place. Regular hourly rate in addition to markups. And then every phone call, every email they send, everything, they're charging that full hourly rate. Do you do that? Do you still charge your hourly rate when you're?
I think they're two. Yeah, I think they're two separate things. So when I think of my business and like profitability, there's the service, and then it's like a whole different line item. I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. Oops, I almost fell off my.
That's what
it's not fell, but like my. So what do you feel? Because I could tell by the way you asked the question, you were not a fan of that.
I think you have to be careful, because if you're charging an hourly rate and markup, it can, to the client, feel like you are nickel and diming them to death. So it's going to depend on exactly what the deal is.
You were saying you are the retailer at that point.
Yeah.
So if you're the retailer and you're taking on all the liability of a retailer, as well as administration, I don't see anything wrong with it. This is the age-old, and that's why we're talking about it, because we have heard over and over again, I don't think there is a right answer, and especially if you in your heart don't feel right, if you feel like you are nickel and diming or you're somehow ripping your client off, like if you can't get behind that business model, it's going to come through when you talk to your client.
It's okay to do your own thing.
Exactly. So I just say, figure out, you have a business, so you have to create a profitable business.
Yes.
I mean, that is why we are
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. If, you and I have so many different income streams, it's just, there's so many, just be wide open to how you can bring, funnel funds into your business. And that's just one of the ways.
Yeah.
Don't you know what I mean? Don't be judgmental about it. No. Or,
And I think that's the problem is that in our industry, there are so many people who are judgmental about so many different things.
So judgmental. That's the part that's so hurtful about sometimes some of these conversations that are in the groups, because everybody comes to it with different experiences and viewpoints, and it's just,
there's enough room for all of us.
Exactly.
And there's enough clients for us too.
And some of us want to be retailers and some of us don't, and it is okay.
Yes.
If you just want to charge, if you want to make money on service only, that is okay.
Of course, You and I both know that if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't do any purchasing at all. So
I know. Because it does, yeah, exactly.
that's not where I want to do which is why I price my flat fee so high.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna have to do this,
You're going to pay me
pay me.
well.
I'm not losing money on this deal.
Yeah.
So it's okay to do it, whatever, as long as you are being ethical and following the law.
Oh my gosh.
Then
Absolutely.
there's no reason for people to get into these big arguments. Do what feels right to you. Again,
Exactly.
following the law.
You know, yeah, I mean, I wished we were here with an answer of the share or
Yeah,
not to share question.
we don't have
Um,
one.
I don't think there will ever be, I know some people have very strong opinions,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for me, it has to be something that works well with you, your personality, your business, your
Right.
experience, what you want to work on in your business. Um, we're designing, our businesses. So if you hate ordering furniture, and
Like
if you
me.
haven't ever if you haven't come out of the furniture industry and don't know how many lines it takes to order a custom anything,
Mm-hmm.
just for if you forget one little thing and
Mm-hmm.
there's a 8-week, 12-week lead
Oh my
time,
gosh.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
never a good
that's
thing.
nutso. That's bananas. So,
So
yeah,
make sure you get paid what you're worth, no matter what.
exactly.
That's the bottom
And
line.
that
Your
is
bottom line is your bottom line.
your bottom line is our bottom line.
Yeah.
And don't be the low price leader.
No, make it about service because that's the whole point in having us.
Exactly. Well, that wraps up. We're sorry that we don't have a definitive
Nope.
answer on this one. We
Mm-mm.
wish we did. But if you want to talk about it in the group, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. I know a lot of the designers in our group, and I know a lot of their pricing structures.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are new to the group, how do you charge or do you pass? I'm not charge, but do you pass on your discount? I'd
Sounds
love
like
to
a
know.
perfect place to end off.
Yes,
And I can't speak English today. So,
I know. I know.
all right, everybody, this has been another episode of Design and Style, and you can find us at designandstyle.club, not .com, but .club, if you want to see the videos and if you want to come out and hang out with us in the club. You can find us on Facebook. We are facebook.com/groups/Design and Style Club.
Bye,
So
guys.
thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.